a strategy. How about a calculator? Is that a strategy? No, a calculator is a tool. It's not a strategy. All right. How about compensation? It's a strategy. Oh, Giselle's hand is raised. Giselle, you have something to say about compensation? Checking for understanding is really important during a lesson because if you don't know where scholars are as you progress through, you're going to assume that everything is fine. You're going to get to the end, you're going to give them a quiz, and everybody's going to fail. You're going to wonder, what went wrong? Whereas if you check throughout the lesson, all of the progress very often, repeatedly throughout the lesson, you will have a better understanding of this component was missed or this component was understood so I can move on. And if it was a missed piece, you can go back and attack it right then. Whereas if you wait until later, you might not realize where the error was. I used thumbs up, thumbs down to the side to sort of determine what their understanding was of a concept or of my directions even. And I also used, I believe it's called fist to 5. So there's a spectrum of 1 to 5, and then where do they lie on that spectrum? Okay, so now we're going to test each strategy. I'd like to see where you fall. Expanded algorithm. Okay, if you're a 1, I want you to glance around and look for somebody near you who's a 5. See any 5s? All right. Keep that person in mind when you need to do an expanded algorithm. Next. Based on the information that they gave me for which strategies they felt they were fully proficient in and that they thought they were an expert and could actually teach as compared to all the other different levels, the ones that the majority of the class thought that they were an expert and could teach or could at least solve independently without any assistance, I didn't feel the need to revisit those today. However, I pulled scholars for small group according to the strategies at which they identified themselves a 1 or a 2 where they were really struggling, and that actually identified 2 separate strategies on which we needed to focus. So I had the scholars who didn't need help with that strategy working independently, while the ones who did need help come back to the small table.
Relieved.
She wasn't really.
Yeah, when she found out that the...
Would it be like, another one would be
when
like
she started talking with the daughter?
secretive? Like,
Why?
because she didn't want to tell anyone about her sickness. When the bleeding stopped, if she felt. Oh. How would you put that?
So one method I use to quickly and easily check for understanding is whiteboards. So the students will write a response on the whiteboard and then hold it up and show me what their group talked about. Boards up. Boards up. Hold up your boards. Every group, hold up your boards. Ooh, we got some great lists here. This is going to be tough. So when I check for understanding, it gives me the opportunity to see if they've understood the material or not. So sometimes if it looks like everyone's understood the topic, then I can keep going. But if some students are still struggling, I know I have to go back and reteach that concept.
Después, agarren el dibujo después, voltea con tu compañero y dile qué está pasando. Después. Oh, no escucho, díganle a su compañero. Después. Ok, gracias por tratar en ayudarle y gracias. Para la próxima vez trata más despacio para que ella pueda decirlo, ¿ok? Today the strategy that I use is called Rally Robin. And Rally Robin is when they partner up with a student and they talk back and forth. When I do Rally Robin as a teacher, for me to check for understanding, I go around the tables, I get close to the partners and I listen into the conversation. I think the strategy is very great for the ELD kids because it gives them the opportunity to do more talking. So by doing Rally Robin, it kind of forced them to talk, not only to talk, but to listen to the partner and rephrase what they're supposed to be talking about. Sometimes you're gonna find kids that they didn't understand the topic or they're not understanding what they're supposed to be doing, and it's okay. I just go back into the carpet and we reteach it. I might not do it the same day because it's just too much, but the next day I will back, reteach it, model it, and practice it with the class. Amelia.
Take that same equation, the actual full equation, and balance it. You may need to write it out. I think checking for understanding is so important to do during the lesson, just because if you wait until the end of the day, end of the week, end of the unit, it's too late. You need to be able to understand their misconceptions early and then address those misconceptions rather than letting those misconceptions snowball. The main method I used was Plickers, which is an online tool where students provide answers in paper form, and then I scan the answers for them and they get uploaded into the computer. And the answer was C. All right. 4 is my only one, right? Some of you chose 1 and 4. What type of reaction is 1? I think Plickers is great because it requires only me to have technology. There's no student use of technology, so you don't have to worry about 30 different devices all functioning at the same time. You don't have to worry about the students having their own technology. It's just my piece of technology, and they just need a piece of paper.
So I want to talk to you about my friend Pedro. Pedro's trying to raise some money just to buy some stuff for himself, and he decided to collect some aluminum cans. Can I get somebody to read that aloud for me? How about each math day I try to start with something we did the day before, and usually it's a word problem that they have to read, they have to think about, and they have to do the work right on their whiteboards, which I can see very, very quickly, whether or not they remembered what they did yesterday. I like to use this basically because it's a simple way to check to see if they understand what we did the day before. So as the students are working independently or with partners, I like to first start with the high student. If I walk by, sometimes I don't even say anything to them. I'll just walk by and I'll look and I'll say, okay, they've got it. And then I go check a student who may be a middle achiever and see how they're doing and ask them to tell me the steps. And if they got it they do it pretty well, then I can go to my lower students and sometimes give them a little bit of assistance, or if they have it, I know I can push the lesson a little farther. But today I noticed that some of them didn't quite have it, and I had to spend some time with the lower students. We have